Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Board Game Mechanics. I'm Katie, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It is Jason.
All right, and we are interrupting our countdown today for a little look back at 2024. So I know you might be expecting the next 10 games. We will get to that, and soon. But first... because it's kind of I don't want to say a special episode, because it's not. It's like a regular episode, but maybe a little bit shorter. Because as you can tell, if you can't hear it, my voice is like really low and kind of raspy. Of course, just in time for the holidays, so that's awesome. So we're going to maybe make this one a little bit short. So if you need to listen to us on like 2 times the speed so that my voice sounds higher, go for it.
I will talk slower as well.
You don't need to talk slower. It's about the tone.
It will make the speeding up sound normal.
It'd take more than that to make you sound normal.
That's the truth. That is the truth. Understatement of the century right there.
So before Jason decides that he needs to talk more and fill this up with crazy nonsense, let's go with the games played.
All right, so not games played, just game played is what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about a new game that we got not that long ago from Kickstarter. And it is called Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. And this is from a company called Sweater Bear Games. Katie talked about this on news at one point. I thought it sounded interesting. So I backed it. And then she's like, what is this game? And I was like, you talked about it. She's like, oh, I don't remember. You know, that whole thing.
You know, the usual.
So this is a game where basically you're taking on a role of like someone who wants to go camping, like a family or something going camping. And effectively what you're doing is you are trying to set up campsites around this mountain. There's different campsites. Some of them are better than others. They're a little harder to get to. And you want to be the first player to get to set up camp at the Bear Mountain campground. The way you're going to do that is it's a deck building game where each player has 2 different decks of cards, which I'm sure we'll talk about more in a little bit. But one is a green deck, one is a blue deck, and the market is set up with 2 decks as well. And what you're going to be doing, you're going to be using those cards that you have. You're going to draw cards from certain colors of decks based on where you end your camping, where you set up camp. Wherever you set up camp is going to tell you what card you're going to draw for the next turn. And then you're basically going to use those cards to get different resources. And the resources are like swimming. There are different kinds of activities. Swimming, fishing, lazy rivering, hiking, biking, all those kind of things that you do outside.
Floating, otherwise known as lazy rivering.
Yes, lazy rivering. That's what I like it. And then you're going to be spending those resources to acquire more cards. If you buy a blue card, it goes in your blue discard. You buy a green, it goes in your green discard pile. And once you've bought everything that you want to buy, maybe some other tokens, you're allowed to carry over so many tokens based on what kind of tent or RV that you're staying in. The worst one is 1, but you can upgrade and eventually be able to carry over 4 per round. Then what you're going to use those resources that are left on your board from the current round and other rounds to try to move to a new campground. If you start in green, you can move around green for free. You have to move a campsite from campsite to campsite every turn. But if I want to upgrade to the next color that's on my little player board track, I have to pay a certain types of goods that gives me entrance to that campground. Once I'm in that color, though, then I can move around for free. I don't have to pay it anymore. But as you progress along the mountain to different campsites, they get more expensive. They take more resources. And ultimately, to get to Bear Mountain, you have to have this off-roading card that you would need to buy from one of the colors of decks. And you need to have 2 of every color of token. There's like 8 different tokens or something like that. It's basically just a race. Deck building, resource management, race to the top. I think the game is fine. We have an expansion we didn't play yet, and I think the expansion is going to make it a little bit more interesting. But my only big complaint, which I also talked about in the review, is I think the game's a little too long for what it is. It needs like the Terraforming Mars prelude treatment where it gives you like a little bit of a head start to get you going, or it starts you up one of the colors of the campsites, because I feel like it starts off really slow, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're at the end. I don't know. It just felt a little long for what it is. I also wish there was a little bit more going on. It's a little bit of rinse and repeat. Buy cards, move. Buy cards, move. And I do think the 2 decks, while it's a cool gimmick, it's completely unnecessary. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So how did you feel about Bear Mountain Camping Adventure?
Yeah, I don't remember talking about this one at all. Or I didn't talk about it in a serious way, I didn't think, but sure. So I was surprised when it showed up. I love a deck builder, and I think there aren't enough cards that create that great deck builder synergy that I love, that allows you to kind of keep extending a hand. They really cut that out here, which I think is a detriment, actually. And
That's
makes
true.
the
You're hardly ever drawing extra cards. That is true.
And that makes the game, I think, longer because you don't have the ability to develop kind of an engine that way. The game is too long. The 2 decks are stupid. They should just be together. It's just dumb. I think if I played it again, I would house rule it, because there is no, like, at first, like, oh, this is the nighttime activities and these are daytime activities. Like, at least there's a thematic difference. No. That is not true either. I would just shove them all together personally. Also, then if that happened and you were truly working it as a deck builder, it would also need more opportunities for you to thin out your hand, which I didn't see as much of. I personally don't like a race, as y'all know. I like multi-path to victory, and this is only one path to victory, sort of. So there are different ways to kind of get to that finish, but once the person gets there, it's over. And I would rather be like, oh, how effectively do we use our resources or our cards, or, lots of other ways to score points besides just getting there to the end. But I definitely would play again. I am intrigued to see what this expansion has for it. The bits are really great. I really like the artwork. I think the theme is really cool. There's just a few things that don't quite make sense to me that just need a little more streamlining. And then I'd be like, yeah, this is a good game. So I'm ambivalent about it at the moment.
Yeah, I want to try the expansion. I think it may make it a little bit more crazy because there's like events and stuff that happen. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's just not like my favorite game of all time. So that is the game we played, Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. We will keep moving on.
It is not my favorite game of 2024. But you know what? I have some favorite games of 2024, actually. Every time, actually, prior to this year, I think Jason always wants to do an episode where we count back our favorite games of 2024. And every time I'm like, did we get new games in the last year? So I guess not favorite games of 2024, but favorite games of the year. This year I was like, yeah, I remember these games. I was actively a part of these games. Look at me go. While there were many really great games that came out this year, and y'all know we are not new hotness, just came out stuff, but I know a lot of people are. Especially now, holiday season. Maybe you got some gift cards. You're looking to cash in after the new year. You might find something new that you don't have in your collection from this list. So we are going to count down our top 5 games of 2024. There is some overlap, as you will notice, but I think it's a wide variety of games, to be honest, between the two of us.
Yeah, we didn't play a ton of games for 2024, maybe like 30 or 35, which is a lot because we don't really play a lot of new games. But normally, yeah, we did play a decent amount, I guess, but it still doesn't seem like a lot, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but yeah.
It seems like a lot to me. All right, so give us your number 5.
All right, so my number 5 is actually a little card game that comes in a box that's way too big. And it calls itself the greatest card game of all time. I don't agree with that, but it is a good game. And it's called Flip 7. And this is effectively set collection blackjack-ish. Mm-hmm. It's a push your luck game where someone's going to play as like the dealer. They're also playing, but they're going to be dealing the cards. And everyone's going to start with a card in front of them. The cards have numbers from 0 to 12. There's the number of cards in the deck as the number on the card, except for 0. There's 1 0. Everything else is 11 11s, 10 10s, all that kind of thing. And what you're trying to do is, on your turn, the dealer's going to ask you if you want another card. If you say yes, they flip a card in front of you. If the number matches any other card you have in front of you, you bust. And you don't get any points for the round. If it doesn't match, you're still alive and you're good. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get as many different numbers as you can, because every card is worth the value of the card. So if a 7 is worth 7 points. And there's some modifier cards. If you can get 7 different cards, you get an extra 15 points. And you're just trying to be the first player to get to 200 points. That ends the game. Then whoever has the highest score is the winner. Should not be as fun as it is. But every time I play this game, I have a great time. It feels like blackjack. Like the hit mechanism is kind of like blackjack. But it also has that push your luck thing that I love. And it's just a good game. So my number 5, Flip 7.
Yeah, I really enjoy this one also. I just enjoy a few others. But this has gone over so well as far as with family members of all ages, non-gamers for sure. If you're looking for like a cheap, quick, fun game, I mean, Push Your Luck generally does it for a lot of people. And this one, like the cards are big. We've had like our youngest daughter plays it, as well as like all of our, random family members. I bought it as I know someone else. My sister and I both bought it as gifts for different people. So it is a really accessible, fun, like family friendly game for sure.
And it can play like 15 people or something with one deck, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is a lot. I thought it was like 10, but
yeah, it might be. I think it's like 10 or 12 or something. Yeah.
My number 5 is also a card game, but it's a little more involved. But for people in the Midwest, it is right up your alley. And that game is Rebel Princess. Rebel Princess, I had it listed on my games I was excited to check out at Origins, I think. Yeah, Origins. And I saw it, and I was like, Jason, let's just blind buy this. Because I read about it, and I'm like, this sounds so good. It sounds right at my alley. And my loving husband did buy it. And like the little we got the deluxe edition, which I think maybe was all that was there.
Yeah, that's the only one that exists now, I think.
But it's so great. So the theme is these fairy tale.
Did you say what the name of this is?
Yeah, Rebel Princess. I did.
Okay, I didn't hear you. I heard the other stuff, but I didn't hear that for some reason. Sorry.
I did. So you're a princess who is a rebel. I guess the theme is like it's a 5-day party, right? And these Prince Charmings who weren't invited are going to try to infiltrate the ball and propose marriage. And you are trying to avoid all marriage proposals because you want to be single and independent. Of course, I love this game. The theme is right up my alley. Another reason why I love this game is each round, it is a trick-taking game. Each round has a special rule. So the general mechanisms are those of like a traditional trick-taking game like euchre, like hearts. But you're following the special rule and you're trying to get the lowest score. So the princes, since they were uninvited, are all point cards, as well as the frog, because, if you kiss a frog into a prince. Yeah. So he's like mega bad because he's in disguise. So he's even extra points. Then you also have, as a princess, you have a special ability that you can use once per round, which I think adds another little like fun flair. Like it's a game that I love, basic trick taking game. Highest number card takes the tricks, following the suits. But you've got these like Prince Charmings that you're trying to avoid, the frog you're trying to avoid. You also end up you pass cards at the beginning of each round. So what you give and what you get kind of changes how things go. And then the rounds, oh my gosh, some of the rules for the rounds are insane. Like it just changes how you think about trick taking, and you're like, oh, what? Oh, okay. So wait, I don't want to play that because if they play that, then I'll get this. But it's great. It is thinky, but yet as a native, I guess I would say native trick taking player, that adds some excitement to it. It reminds me a little bit of Indulgence, which I also really love. Dwarf King, is that the other one?
Yeah, Dwarf King. Yep.
That has like the round with different kinds of rounds for trick taking. But this one has really cool art, a really fun theme. Really good. Now I just really want to play it. Now I've just talked about it. So it's my number 5, Rebel Princess.
Yeah, this is a good game. It's effectively Hearts, but man, those events are crazy. Some of the events are just insane. And it turns the whole game on its head and some of those rounds can get really thinky because of those events. All right, so my number 4 is actually another game that can play a pile of people. I think 10, and I'm pretty sure that's correct. And this game is called Panda Royale. This is a game from Last Night Games, and this is just a dice rolling game. That's it. In this game, there's going to be different kinds of dice. They're going to be different colors, different shapes. And each of the colors of dice, there could be multiple shapes in each of the colors, are going to score in a different way. So if I get a purple die, all the purple dice are times 2. So I roll a 12, I'm going to get 24. So maybe I want to go a bunch of purple dice. Or I can go the red route, and the red have white and black pips. White are positive, black are negative. You're going to take the number of red dice times your total, which could be a pile of points unless you roll a bunch of negative, and then a pile of negative points. Whole bunch of different things you can do here. Every round you're going to be drafting new dice. Whoever has the highest yellow gets first pick of those dice. And by the end of the game, you're going to be rolling 10, 11, 12 dice, and it just feels fantastic. And you're basically just trying to get the highest score possible. So kind of a roll and write, but it's literally just rolling dice and adding up your score. But it's a ton of fun. And everybody loves rolling dice. I don't think everybody likes the math as much. The math can get a little heady, but rolling the dice is fun. All the special ways that they score is a good time. And I just like it. There's an expansion, too, that adds some wild dice and other couple funky dice. Not necessary, but they are fun. So if you like rolling dice and this sounds cool, check it out. My number 4, Panda Royale.
Yeah, and I think I've seen this in some mass market. Is it in Barnes & Noble, maybe?
It might be. I think I've seen that, too. It should be. Like anybody can play this game just like Flip 7. It's a similar kind of deal.
Yeah, we have also played it with a lot of family members. For younger kids, it gets a little bit harder. Well, actually, for adults too, when you get more dice because the math, you have to work out the math. But I also think that's kind of a good thing in a way. You can use it as an educational game to help kids with math facts, because each dice color has a different way of determining the points. And so I think that there's something like great about that, but it's also fun just to like chuck a bunch of dice and like hope for high rolls. So
yeah, pure luck, but good time.
Yeah, it's a very good game, and I'm a big fan of Last Night Games. My number 4 is a heavy game. Like we did all these light games up front, but my number 4 is a heavy game, and honestly, it might go higher if I play it more, but maybe not, because I might not play it more because it's so heavy, and that's Unconscious Mind. There's a lot of buzz about this. Was this Mind Clash?
No, this is shoot.
It feels like a Mind Clash game. But
the same people that did Endless Winter.
Fantasia?
Fantasia, yeah.
And so initially, when we backed this on Kickstarter, correct?
That is correct.
Because I really like the theme. So you are psychoanalysts, basically, one of Freud's contemporaries, right? Working with patients in like their dreams, which I thought was so cool. But the other reason we backed it is because the artwork is from 2 really great artists that we love, Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutrait. Look at Me, Remember stuff, right?
Good job.
I mean, it's not my favorite artist, like,
Clemens Franz.
No one can be a Clemens Franz, but
what if it was Clemens Franz art and like somebody like Clemens Franz and somebody else equally terrible as him? What if it had that art on it?
As long as someone else did the people and not Clemens Franz. God love him.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be a weird looking game. Clemens Franz, I know you're not listening, but I do love you. Anyway, back to Unconscious Mind. So this is definitely a Euro style game. You are doing worker placement. There's like rondels happening. I mean, so you're placing your workers out, which are like actually like idea bubbles, onto like a main board so that you can do things like heal patients, increase like your knowledge in these different areas of psychoanalysis, collect like coffee and stuff to help you keep going. And like when you've got these dreams that are overlaying your patients, you're trying to kind of solve those, and those are getting you points and giving you actions. Like you're trying to match up symbols. Like there is a ton going on in this game. Like it's crazy. There's these manifest dreams. There's these latent dreams. You're trying to get your clients to catharsis. There's these really cool like see-through cards, like kind of like canvas, that are the dreams that go with your clients. I don't know if that's really necessary, but they do function. They do have a function. They're not just purely whatever. There's like in-game scoring opportunities. Like there is just a lot, and I do love that because at least so far it seems like there's multiple paths to victory. I'm not quite sure yet, but I find it very satisfying to when you can like heal both clients' dreams at the same time and kind of get that like whole new setting out on your board. Like there's a lot of stuff that comes with that, moving around your different, what do they call those? Insights, which I think is like kind of your knowledge of how to help heal these patients. Move those around, like bonuses. There's lots of things that can happen here. Because it's so heavy, it's not for everyone. And I'm not going to throw them. Maybe I will throw them under the bus. We played with some people that are like, well, it seems fiddly. Fiddly is not the same as having lots of items to manage. Fiddly is when those items don't make sense with how to play the game. And I would not say that about this game. Yes, there's a lot going on, much as like any Vital
game. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Gallerist, honestly. There's less going on here than Lisboa. I will tell you that because I actually understand this. It reminds me more of a Gallerist, maybe a little more difficult than Vinos, I think.
Yeah, it's heavier than Vinos, I think.
But just lots of moving parts. And I love that because that really stimulates my brain. And the artwork is so beautiful and it's just really interesting. When you think about the theme and the way all the different components that you're working go together, it's a very good game. It's a very good game. So my number 4, after all that, Unconscious Mind.
Yeah, this is okay. It's an okay game.
We may revisit it.
I'm basically like selling it for like $50. It's terrible.
He's not. He's not.
All right. So my number 3 is actually a game that I got for birthday. I'm not sure. Birthday?
Yeah,
but
I think I bought it for your birthday.
It's effectively an abstract game that looks amazing, and it's called Harmonies. You have played this now, right?
I
yes,
played
we
our
played
copy.
it at Origins. Yeah. So this is a game where basically on your turn you're drafting a set of 3 of these different tiles, and the tiles are going to represent different things. They're going to be like wood for like the base of a tree, greenery for like the top of a tree. There's red for building material. There's gray for building material. There's water tiles, and there's like desert tiles. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to place these on your player board in such a way that you're trying to complete these patterns on these cards that you're trying to take. But if you don't do that, if you just place them on your board in certain ways, each of those different things are going to score you points. So you can build mountain ranges with the gray tiles. You can build trees. The higher the tree, the more points. The bigger your mountain range, the more points. But if you can also then put these tiles down on the player board in certain patterns, you can mark them with this cube and you can score extra points. So you're scoring not only for just the tile of how it scores based on the player board, you're also scoring for different patterns of these tiles based on these cards that you're drafting. And you're going to go until somebody fills up their whole board, and then you're going to see who has the most points, and they are the winner. It's kind of like that's the game. You're drafting tiles and you're trying to just make the best that you can do out of it. You can ignore the cards completely. You can focus on just board scoring. You can just do cards and see how that works out. You can do a combination of 2, kind of whatever you want to do, however you want to play it, and just see how well you do. This is a really fun game. I like it. I've played it online probably 30 times, in real life about 4 or 5 times, and it's fantastic. I love it. It looks amazing. and it's just a fun little puzzle. I don't love abstracts, but the ones that I do like this one, they look nice, and they have a little bit more going on than just move this black piece over above that white piece and see what happens. And this one's got a lot more going on. I really like it. So my number 3, Harmonies.
Yeah, this one is really good. I haven't played it, the copy that we actually own now, but big shout out to Richard Diaz, who's the best. He introduced us to this game, and it's really good. It's so pretty. Again, I don't like abstract games either, but I think just that little bit of like nature theme helps this from being just like colored cylinders, which I really enjoy having that extra bit. And as Jason mentioned, multiple paths to victory. This is so great. Like, I just went off my own way when we played it the first time. I was like, you know what? I just want to, make as many of these patterns as I can. Or I'm just going to go off on this pattern because these cards aren't working for me. I just couldn't get the cards to work right. And I was like, oh man, I'm totally sucking at this game. But that strategy was totally viable. Going with the card strategy is totally viable. I love that in the game, and I really do want to tackle this one again with some friends, hopefully soon. My number 3 is a game that if you listen to the Countdown podcast, you will have heard Jason talk about in his last list, and that is Rock Hard 1977. Of course, we were into this game because it has a music theme. That's just one of our jams. Not all music themed games are created equal, however. So I was really worried, to be honest, because the last one we got, I was like, this wasn't what I wanted it to be. Did we back this on Kickstarter? Did we get sent to us or what?
This one was a review copy.
It delivered on everything it promised. Like, legitimately.
You did not say the name of this one this time.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I said it. I can't wait till you listen this back when you're editing and you hear that I said it, because I'm going to like come out from a dead sleep and go in your face.
Rock Hard 1977, because she didn't say it.
I'm not saying it again because I did say it. I know I said it. Rock Hard 1977.
Oh, yeah. Real confident in yourself, huh?
If you're gaslighting me, it's recorded right now.
I'm not even kidding with you. I did not, for this one and Rebel Princess, I did not hear you say the names. I was listening closely, and I didn't hear anything. The other two I clearly heard because I didn't say anything. But this one, yeah. No, okay, go on.
All right, we'll see. We'll see who's right. Everybody listening, witness. So, Rock Hard 1977, which I've now said 3 times.
2 times for sure.
Is a game where you are like leading. I don't know that you're leading a band, but you yourself are a musician, and a struggling musician at first. You're trying to make it big, and it's so great because it's so thematic. You start out with like a kind of a lame job. So you're trying to like get people, like get time in the studio to record stuff. You want to gain more experience. You want to get some tracks out there. Trying to play at bigger and bigger venues. Getting people to work for you. Get an agent. It's great. It's really great. It has this like side like way to get bonus actions called candy, which I'm pretty sure is a euphemism for drugs of some sort.
Booger sugar.
Huh?
It's booger sugar.
Ew.
Cocaine. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but who says that?
I don't know. That's what we were calling it last time we played it.
I certainly did not say that.
You weren't playing that game.
Anyway, it seems like you are snorting a line. I will say that. We're going to have to put an E on this episode now. We're talking about hard drugs.
We might have to, yeah. And gaslighting and all that stuff.
No, that's for real. So, but either way, that's fine. But you can see, like, it can help you increase your actions. You've got your days kind of divided. So whenever your job has to be worked, if it's a daytime job, if it's a nighttime job, that can influence what kind of actions you can take because it's worker placement. It's so fun because I think the theme is done so well in this. Cards that like that you can draw that can add like hilarious stuff. Like one of them I drew was saying that like your one member of the band, their ex wants to date you, and it's gonna like make it takes down one of your options. I don't know. Do you have like a mood option or something?
Reputation.
It takes any reputation to date them, but you get like 5 songs out of it, which is so hilariously true. I love that. Like it does such a good job of mimicking that theme. I was so pleasantly surprised because I'd been let down, I think, by other music, rock games. And this one really, really is well done. So my number 3 for the probably 4th time, Rock Hard 1977.
3rd time for sure. My number 2 is actually also this game. I'm not going to say the name of it just because I refuse now. No, my number 2 is Rock Hard 1977. It's everything Katie said. It's great. We also played it I played it the last time with the same person who thought Unconscious Mind was fiddly. And this person said it was just okay. But I also think this person doesn't really like good games. So
if you are listening to this person, you know who you are, and we are calling you out.
But no, my favorite thing about this game is the way that the game it works. Like during the day, you can go to the recording studio or like hire a publicist. During the night, you're going to be playing gigs, maybe go to the recording studio. And then after hours, which is the 3rd phase of the game, you're going to the club. Or you're going to go to bed early and be a good, human. Or maybe you have to go to work. But the way that it's laid out is really thematic. All those cards that Katie talked about are crazy. I think I found one where I found like $1,000 and I refused to give it back to the person who said it was theirs. And I took like a major like reputation hit. It's crazy. Like some of it just resonates with me because I've been in bands a long time. Not that I've ever found $1,000 or done some of the things, but I don't know. I just like it. So my number 2, Rock Hard, 1977.
My number 2 is a game that I personally backed in Kickstarter because I was afraid Jason would refuse me, and I wanted to go all in on this, and I did. And that game is, I'm saying the name right now, Jason. I'm saying it right now. Are you listening?
I know, I was listening intently. I was like, is she going to say it? Is she going to say it?
Let's go to Japan. I can't wait till I prove I'm right. I can't wait. So this is from AEG, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which I have long had a love for AEG from their like little compact box games that pack a lot for like $5. I got them at the time to this one, which I did not pay $5 for. But this is a card drafting set collection, I'd say, kind of game where you are planning out an itinerary for visiting Japan. And this hit me really hard because I just visited Japan last year. It's been a whole year since I've been there. I went there last year. And of course, you all know I love Asian themed games anyway, despite, even before I went to Japan. But seeing some of the places again, and it's informational, educational about the different locations in Tokyo and Kyoto. And then we also have a little expansion that we play that's day trips. So you can get to Osaka, Nara, maybe a couple others in there. The bits are freaking amazing. And I don't know if it's just because I got like the upgraded version, but there's these great colored bags for your player colors, and the colors they chose I really love because there is a purple choice, and that's fantastic. The artwork is really good. I don't even know who does the art, which is terrible that I don't know that. But it's also the scoring sometimes can get tricky, and no matter how many times you tell people how it's going to score, they act like they don't know when you get to the end. Like, oh, I didn't realize that. I'm like, I told you. Oh, Josh Wood's the designer, and a lot of people are the artist. Okay. But after it does go very quick because it's just really a few rounds, and they're all laid out really well, which I think makes it easy to teach and go through this game. That it's very easy to turn around and be like, let's play it again now that you've all seen how the scoring works. And everyone does better the second time they play it. So it's really easy to have like a quick teaching game. and then play it for real. And, if you like travel at all, or, there's kind of a puzzly element of lining up certain types of activities on certain like corresponding days. And I just love playing with all like the really great tactile components in it. You gotta try it. I love it. I don't get to play it as much as I want to. Maybe I love it more than everyone else, but my number 2, let's go to Japan.
No, I like it. I do just get tired of people saying, how's this score again? What's this do? The game is not hard. Like, I don't understand. I do get tired of that though, but no, I do like this game. Not top 5.
Yeah.
All right. My number 1 should be no surprise. Is Katie's number 4, Unconscious Mind. I love this game. I love heavy games. I just don't play them as much as I used to because I usually have to teach them, and teaching this game takes about 45 minutes, which is a little brutal. I will say it's a little brutal, which makes me not want to play with people who don't already know how to play. But everything Katie said about this game, I love the way that it all works together. You have to learn how to psychoanalyze. Then you're going to use what you've learned on these patients to help them heal. And then eventually you're going to have to go visit Freud because he's going to drop some knowledge on you to help you get, learn more insight, visit different locations in the city, collect coffee. You got to drink coffee to keep your brain working. Looks amazing on the table. Everything that it does makes sense. It's not fiddly. Fiddly is stacking up things on top of each other for no reason, but that's what the game makes you do. Everything you're doing in this game, you need to do. Not fiddly. I want that to stop right now. But yeah, I love this game. I probably won't play it as much as I would like because of the teach and because our game group doesn't normally play a ton of heavy stuff anymore. So, we've kind of been skewing a little bit more lighter, but more lighter. You like that? But yeah, the fantastic game. If you like V-Tau games, you like games from Cranio or Mind Clash, this is definitely one you should check out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I love it. Definitely, hands down, my favorite game of 2024. So, Unconscious Mind.
Yes. And while I like heavy games, like Jason said, we tend to play a lot of lighter games. And my number 1 is a lighter game. And I want to play it all the time. And that's Courtisans. I said the game's name just right there.
You did. I know. It's only those 2. I've heard it every other time.
So Courtisans is a card game. I like card games. They go down really well with all kinds of people. It's also beautiful cards. These are like tarot size with like metallic accents, like beautiful cards. I love that. So in this game, you've got several different suits, and on your turn, you will have 3 cards. You draw 3 cards. You play 1 card in front of you. You play 1 card in front of somebody else. You play 1 card to the center tableau. Done. Easy gameplay. However, the choices of which cards to play where, is where it gets so good. Because you've got 2 goals. Everybody's got 2 goals. And sometimes those goals conflict, right? Like, I want to have more of maybe a certain type of card. Maybe, let's say, frogs. I got to have more frogs than the person next to me. So I definitely want to play frogs in front of me and not on them. But the problem is the center tableau dictates how those cards in front of you will be scored at the end of the hand. If I want to have more frogs than the person next to me, but someone keeps making frogs negative because that's their card, I'm going to be pissed off. And so then you're trying to fight that battle to keep the frogs from being negative, but you got to have frogs in front of you and not next to you. Oh my gosh. It's just, again, I draw 3 cards. I play 1 in front of me, 1 to somebody else, 1 in the middle of the table. That's it. But where and how you play those cards, there's a few like specialty cards. There's like an assassin that gets rid of other cards. There are these spies that are cards that are played face down, so they aren't revealed until the end of the hand. There's also cards that give you like double, that are like ×2 versions of the card. All those things. Like, it's, again, deceptively simple to play with really great decisions. And I love that. And I love that makes it really accessible for a lot of people, but also without leaving someone who's played a lot of games feeling like they're not playing, being bored. And again, did I mention it's beautiful? It's beautiful. And I love Tarot Sides cards. They feel just really great in the hand. I don't know if that says something about me and like I don't know. I always like read books about witches and play games with Tarot Sides cards, but they're just feel really great to handle, I think, and they look really impressive. That to me just enhances what is a really just fun yet very simple game to play. So my number one, and one I played a lot, is Courtisans.
Yeah, this is a good game. It's fun. It's not as universally liked as some of the other ones we talked about, but it is good. And it looks fantastic. I'll give you that too.
I think I like games almost more when I feel very confident that I can teach them. And I've taught Courtisans on more than one occasion and have felt really good about the teach, actually. So
yeah, that's true. It does feel good when you really know a game and you can just rattle it off without looking at the rules and all that stuff. That is nice.
And a card game for me is easier because Jason always likes to do the setup. He's getting all the bits out and organizing it, putting it out on the board. And so I don't ever get to do that. And so when I teach a game that he's not playing, which does happen sometimes, like if we're trying to like kind of help guide lots of people in playing games, I don't know how to do the setup. I could tell you to play the game, but then I look like a moron who doesn't know how to set up the game. But if it's just a deck of cards, I can figure that out. I can do that. And so Courtisans like made it up to number one, I think, because of all of those elements.
Yeah, probably.
So those are our top 5 games of 2024. There are many. I mean, we had several honorable mentions, a lot of stuff that was so good. I really did like Flip 7. I like Captain Flip a lot also.
Yeah, that one almost made my list, Captain Flip.
It did. I really liked, Harmonies was good too. I liked River Valley Glassworks also. Panda Royale. There's just a lot of really great games out there in 2024. So what about y'all? Did you have some top games of 2024 that we didn't mention? Or do you agree with what we did mention? Or you want to fight about how fiddly and Conscious Mind is? Please hit us up on any of our socials. We love to hear from you guys, especially even outside of Top Games 2024. What did you get for Christmas? Did you get some new games? What are you playing? It's nice, I think, to have this extra time to sit down and play some games. I know we've got a couple like holiday gatherings that I know we're going to get games out at, and I'm very excited and looking forward to those. And so I want to hear about your holiday gaming sessions as well.
Yep. I don't have anything to say. I've said enough.
It'd be nice if you'd get a closing remark together at some point.
Sometimes I say something cool, but it's just not happening today. I used all my effort in gaslighting you about not saying names of games.
Apparently. All right. Well, in light of that, there's nothing else to go on. I just want to make sure at the end here we say happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, winter solstice, we just thank you for listening to us and putting up with us. And those of you that do correspond with us, that's awesome. And those of you that don't, that's great too. I think about just dropping us a line in 2025.
Those of you that don't probably think Unconscious Mind is fiddly.
Well, maybe there's that. But from our family to yours, happy holidays. We apparently need to get Jason to go back and listen to the tape and see where I did say the names of the games. So until next time, I've been Katie.
And I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming.
Did I say that my name was Katie? Did I forget to mention that? I'm Katie. Did you miss that?